Dear AskReddit, what's the suckiest thing that happened in your birthday? Got told my GF at the time wanted a break. Then she went out and locked me out of my house and slept with the dude she saw when she was out in my own bed. It was my 20th birthday. Now that's sad. Had the same birthday as a guy in my class. In the school canteen it was a tradition to sing happy birthday to the birthday kid. I'm sitting there eating with my friend when the cantina lady comes up and says, "We have to sing happy birthday." I say no. "That's so embarrassing," she replies. "But it's not for you, dear." BTW. It was a really small school. I had the same birthday as a more popular kid throughout school and we always celebrated his, but no one mentioned mine. It's such a crap thing to do to a kid. My mother forgot it, then called me a liar when I told her I had to get my driver's license to prove it. I was in my late 20s. My 18th birthday, I had a party and one of my friends was on the floor with a knife threatening to kill themselves. Or when I was depressed in my 20s, I made an effort, invited a bunch of people out, and one person turned up. That was a dark moment for me, but my mother still wins this though. My dad passed away on her birthday. She always says he had the worst sense of timing. My last birthday was really fricked. On the day itself, my uncle had a funeral and on the day of family celebration I ended up in hospital with torsion of my testicle. Nightmare that. My birthday is in February. For my 11th birthday my parents didn't get me a gift, just a card. They said because they bought me a brand new bike at Christmas money was a bit tight. My brother's birthday is in June. He also got a brand new bike at Christmas and a brand new PlayStation for his birthday. Not that big a deal compared to some stories, but not getting a gift from your parents and then your brother getting two amazing gifts kinda sucked as a kid. My niece's birthday is the 4th of January. This is why I always make sure to get her a separate birthday gift that is just as cool as her Christmas gift. Well, my dad forgot my 14th birthday. Then I got to school and decided to wait if any of my friends would remember. During the last period, some kid was on Facebook on his phone and suddenly bursted, "Is it your birthday?" Dude, that was even more embarrassing than no one remembering. Moral of the story, your birthday will never be as important to other people as it is to you. Don't expect much after the age of 12. My stepfather died a few days before my birthday. His funeral was on my 18th birthday. It was his final act of contempt. I would take that as a birthday present if he was awful. My fiancée cheated on me and then broke off our engagement to run off with some 50-year-old dude who looks similar to her dad. She threw 5 years of friendship away and said that deciding to be my friend was the single biggest mistake of her life. 2018 was a fun year. Sidestepped a projectile there, dude. I found out I was pregnant with my first baby a week before my 30th birthday. The day before my 30th birthday I started experiencing abdominal pains. I went to hospital and they scheduled an emergency scan for a suspected ectopic pregnancy, but the next available appointment they had was the day after my birthday. So I spent my 30th birthday unsure as to whether my pregnancy was viable, miscarrying or possibly ectopic. The happy ending though, the day after my birthday I had the scan and found out it was in fact all completely fine. I celebrated my 31st with a healthy happy 4-month-old son. That's even more good that you can celebrate your BD with your son. I can't remember my exact age, but it was in my early teens. I always liked birthdays, like most kids do. I was in class on my birthday, and my best friend at the time told our teacher that it was my birthday. The teacher decides that our whole class was gonna sing for me. They didn't. The only people that sang was my teacher and my best friend. I still hate when people sing for me, even if it was 5-7 years ago. It was a class with 20 people in it. Dang sorry that happened to you, dude. 9/11. I mean, that wasn't my worst birthday personally, but it's kinda hard to argue that it's the suckiest thing that happened on my birthday. It was my little sister's 16th birthday. I've never actually asked if it was her personal worst though, but it was like the anti-gift that kept giving, because it was revisited every year. Oh man, I went to Paris last year around my birthday to perform there in theater. It was my first time in Paris. I brought my girlfriend with me and it was my first time performing on some big theater festival. But turns out the festival didn't have any audience coming. I broke my toe accidentally kicking some concrete block while walking to meet my girlfriend near Centre Pompidou, where we got into a huge fight and we pretty much broke up. I think Paris hates me. The city of romance. So much for that. I was 14. My dad forgot how old I was, stole my wallet, and then called me and left a voicemail saying that he's not proud of me and I'm not his daughter anymore. I'm sorry geez, that's fricked up. When I was away at college, my parents sent me a birthday card. They put in a note that my aunt had terminal cancer and was going to die in the next month or two. Happy birthday, your aunt is going to die soon. Last year our family dog had to be put to sleep on my birthday. His stomach flipped the week before and caused irreparable damage. He'd already had it turn a few years ago. My mum went to pick him up and the vet told her he wasn't going to recover and was in pain. I got a phone call on my way to work where she was distraught. Thankfully my manager was incredible and let me use a sick day to go home. I had to arrange the home visits to put him to sleep because my mum couldn't do it. I called my dad to tell him. My parents are divorced and he hadn't seen the dog in years. I arranged everything so he could be brought home and go to sleep peacefully with me, my mum, and my sister. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. My birthday is 2 weeks before Christmas and I'd already got him a present. This big goofball got me through my parents' divorce and the hardest breakup I've been through. I'm in my late 20s and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I'm sorry for your loss. My family dog had to be put to sleep for the same reason. It's tough to see them go through that. Thinking of him now never fails to bring a smile to my face. 20th birthday, I received 2 letters. First one was that I was being kicked out of uni for poor grades. Second letter was from my doctor that basically said that the reason I have sucked at school my whole life is because I had an underlying learning disability. He even said that it could have been caught and treated much sooner. 30th birthday, I got another letter from a different doctor. His exact words were, "You were right. You do have diabetes. I just had my 40th birthday last month. Luckily it was on a Sunday. No mail delivery on Sundays where I live." My birthday is the 1st of March, and my late primary school time was when Justin Bieber was the guy. In school I was never popular, so hearing we do have to celebrate someone's birthday today, right, was destined to give me false hopes. Then when I brought up my birthday, people accused me of lying and or attention seeking. Not mine, but my sister's. Hope that's okay, since I was there for these. On her 13th birthday, so she was officially a teen, and was real excited about it. We had to go to my great grandmother's house, help her set up to have a sort of estate sale auction. Then us kids had to stay hidden in one of the bedrooms of the house and not come out for 8 hours. Food was brought to us. On her 16th birthday again, one she was excited for, our mom told us last minute we were visiting a friend of hers. Okay, no big deal. Only friend's eldest son was turning 19 and having a birthday party, so instead of celebrating turning 16, my sister had to watch a bunch of late teens play video games all day and eat cake she didn't like. And she wasn't allowed to be on her phone because that's rude at a birthday party. Dang, that second one really peed me off and this didn't even happen to me. Someone broke up with me that day. I arranged a nice birthday party, invited a bunch of friends, and I was so happy that my BF that time was behaving as a decent person. For example, not causing a scene, but smiling and chatting with mostly everyone. Little did I know that he kept on acting like this only to build up a huge scene after we headed home. He started to criticize all of my friends, how shallow and ignorant they were and how I should had stopped them talking about politics when I knew he was in a different opinion, so he would not had to listen to all the BS. And then he said he doesn't love me enough to put on with me, so he left me crying in the middle of the street at night. After a day he kept on calling me like nothing had happened. I did not understand what the F was going on. Quick disclaimer, you might already know, but worth stating, that most psychopaths don't like when the attention is not focused on them. In this case it was focusing on me, hence it was my birthday, so they'd cause a scene to get back the attention. I did not know it then, just years later when all the things just started to make sense. He sounds like a waste of space. Was walking home from school and it started pouring rain. My umbrella broke pretty much immediately. It finally cleared up after like 30 minutes, which was just in time for me to see a dead dog on the side of the road with all the intestines hanging out. Yay 18. Welcome to adulthood. For my birthday a handful of years ago, me and my girlfriend at the time went to Disneyland for dirt cheap because of my immediate family's employment. The stipulation was that there were family passes, so my family had to actually be there. This was all well and good up until my girlfriend decisively dumped me the night we got there. No specific trigger for it to happen at that moment, when there was still the whole weekend left, we were sharing a room, etc. I figured to spare everyone else the drama I'd just suck it up and act like nothing was wrong. Slept in my car, put on a happy face, went on some rides. I was, and still am, crappy with depression and deserved a good dumping, but I mean, Disneyland on my birthday. It's not funny yet, but maybe it will be one day. I've seen some sitcom episodes that got close with the whole geez there's never a good time to break up thing. There's never a good time to break up with someone, but god dang are there some bad ones. I have two pretty bad ones. My 16th birthday fell on a Tuesday. Before I went to school I asked my mom if she wasn't even going to wish me a happy birthday. I thought your birthday was last weekend. Well then, why didn't you wish me a happy birthday last weekend and you gave birth to me? I got an electronic toothbrush as a present. For my 18th birthday I went to her classmate's mother's funeral. She had died from cancer. I wasn't particularly close to this guy, but he was nice and it was just a solidarity thing to show support for him with other classmates. My mother forgot that she was supposed to pick me up, so I had to shamefully ask my friend's parents to drop me off way out of their way. Then the weekend after, me and my best friend, who had his birthday that day, were going to have a party at a bar to celebrate becoming legal drinking age. No one showed up for either of us, and the bartender was in butt to both of us for barely being legal to drink. Found out my brother's best friend, who was 16, passed away in a car accident at my 21st birthday party with my family. Hearing my brother cry that night literally broke my heart. My most recent birthday I was attacked by a dog. Doesn't seem horrible, but I have horrible agoraphobia and worked myself up all morning to go sit by the lake, just to get attacked by a dog. I also only recently had gotten over my fear of dogs, so it ruined my whole day and I just stayed in bed the rest of my birthday. It was my 12th birthday. We were going out to a party. My dad went bankrupt and into a huge debt while we were driving towards the event. When we got to the event, my dad got the call from someone. I was too young at that time to understand what was going on, but something was fishy. While going towards the party, my dad promised to buy me an amazing gift on our way back. I was so disappointed at not being able to get the gift. Turns out our whole life was fricked. Probably the worst day and birthday of my life. After a few years though, things started going back to normal. My dad turned things around thanks to a huge effort by him. I still exactly don't know what happened back then, but now I can say all is well. My parents hosted a family birthday party when I turned 16. It started out just fine, but went downhill fast when family members got into an intense argument over politics. Nothing would stop them from yelling at each other and eventually slamming doors as they left in a huff. It really ruined the occasion. Yeah, but in policies. Back a while ago when I was turning 21 I had both strep throat and mono at the same time. Due to the meds I couldn't drink. On top of that, the morning of my 21st birthday I walked out to the garage and found the family dog has died. He was ill, but it wasn't expected that he would have died that day and I was home alone when I found him. Flash forward to my 32nd birthday and my mom is texting me while I am out to dinner with my wife. And the new dog that was around 8 or 9 years old was dying randomly and eventually died like half an hour later. Apparently my birthday is the Friday the 13th for dogs. Was having a great birthday dinner with friends at a bar club. One guy who was invited from work but I didn't know that well came up to me with a shot and said happy birthday. I said thanks and downed it. Turns out it was Stro Rum 80 and unless you're a seasoned freaking pirate that crap will knock you on your butt. I ended up going to the toilet puking and just got a taxi home. Birthday ruined. On my 40th birthday, my then wife was overseas for business. I was at home with our kids. On my birthday, I took the day off work. I woke up on the morning of my birthday and felt terribly ill. I managed to get the kids off to school and then collapsed on the couch, stayed there for the whole day, picked the kids up after school, and we went to the local food court for dinner. My then wife came home a couple of days later, at which time I thought that perhaps I might receive some sort of gift or acknowledgement of my milestone birthday. I got nothing, but I put it down to the fact that my wife had her luggage lost on the way to the business meeting, and again on the way back from the meeting. Allowances could be made, I guess, and so I waited for over a month. We went to visit her mother about a month later, as it was my Mill's birthday and my son's birthday that same weekend, and I got to go there and see my Mill and my son get all sorts of wonderful presents and cards and stuff. Cake. A genuine celebration. I took it all in for about an hour or two, and then I went outside to cool off, because I was getting mightily pee off. My wife came outside and asked me why I was in a bad mood. I exploded and let her have it, both barrels. All this fuss about these birthdays, and it was over a month since my 40th birthday, and I had not received one card, let alone a present, from anyone. And now I had to sit there and put up with all of this. It was just too much for me to take. Anyhow, after my explosion, they all went out and bought me some presents to try and make up for it. I cannot remember a single gift that I received that day. All I remember is that no one in my family thought to do anything to celebrate my birthday. For my 50th birthday, my new wife booked a meal at the revolving restaurant at CN Tower in Toronto. We live in New Zealand. My 50th birthday was so much better than my 40th. For my 50th birthday, my new wife booked a meal at the revolving restaurant at CN Tower in Toronto. We live in New Zealand. My 50th birthday was so much better than my 40th. Best birthday present. New wife. Childhood friend girlfriend and her single father came to pick me up on 15th birthday and we drove through Angeles Crest. My parents were always working so they didn't have time to really do anything at the time. Drunk driver on a pickup from the oncoming lane slammed us and instantly killed himself and her dad. Our car was flipped over and I had to crawl out and pull my girlfriend out. She died in my arms while we were waiting for an ambulance. We even had names picked out for our future children. I was left with a fractured leg and a back injury. Now I'm just an emotionally detached borderline sociopath with a grudge against humanity. Let's see. Arrested. Fired. Lost home. Lost so. Lost car. All different birthdays. None due to partying the birthday itself. Merely coincidences. Needless to say I just hunker down indoors these days. Frick birthdays. I had to go to a dear friend's funeral. Admittedly it would be very selfish to make a fuss about it. I honestly just postponed any celebration until the weekend as that day was to honor her and celebrate her life. I had my 7th birthday party at a park. While playing on the playground I noticed some older kids smoking and I told them they shouldn't smoke because it's bad for them. One of the boys put his cigarette out on my shoulder. Woke up on my 13th birthday at 6 AM because my grandmother had taken a turn for the worse. She died later that day. She had cancer so we knew it would be sooner rather than later. Sucky nonetheless. High school 1 year. My birthday fell on Thanksgiving. It was my birthday and Thanksgiving and my boyfriend dumped me through text using a knock knock joke. The joke was as follows. Him. Knock knock. Me. Who's there? Him. Single. Me. Single who? Him. Single you. He was not very clever, but he did tell the whole school about it proudly. At first I was kind of like that's not as bad as some of the ones on here. Then I got to the knock knock joke. You have my sympathies. Hot contenders. Tripping and dropping my entire cake and simultaneously dislocating my knee on the 14th. Friend attempting suicide on my 17th birthday and I missed receiving her suicide note via message because I was out to dinner with my family. 1 week before 19 my long distance so succumbed to illness and died. At 21 my boyfriend at the time physically assaulted one of my friends and then followed me home and menaced until my father got a gun. 1 week before 24 my boyfriend at the time started a fight at 2 AM and kicked me out of our house. A week before that my dog had died, so the timing was just all around unfortunate. I'm like a normal person. January is just a fricked up month tbh. I left work to go cash my check and get ready for a little road trip from CO to AZ. My bank was back in my hometown and I wanted to see some friends and brother since it was my birthday. About halfway to the bank I started getting sharp chest pains. Felt like a muscle spasm, so I just continued on. I told myself if this keeps it up, I'm cashing my check and going home. Pains progressively get worse and I start home. Pains continue and I start to think this isn't any old muscle spasm and decided to go to the hospital. Get the workup and and the doctor comes back and tells me I have pneumonia. At least it wasn't a heart attack and I have a neat little hospital wristband both with date admitted and date of birth of the 22nd of June. My birthday was on the day everyone in my study abroad group arrived in the UK. For my 21st birthday, I was around a bunch of random new people. And even the bartenders there didn't give a frick about me being 21 because they'd been drinking since they were 18. When I was 7, my mother hired a pony and a cart to come to my house for all the kids. And I got a really bad rash from the pony, and all the kids got to ride the pony, and I had to go inside, and my mother was rubbing cream on me for probably 3 hours, and I never came outside. And by the time I got out, the pony was already in the truck and around the corner. So that was my worst birthday. Hey Mr. Scott. My goat died. I was having a pool party and the outdoor bathroom was in the barn, so I went to go pee and found my pet goat dead in the barn. It sucked. Wow, you had pet goat? That gotta be cool. It was a perfect storm. I turned 11 and everyone forgot. The week before my birthday, my parents had bought their first house. We moved. During that time my mom found out she was laid off from her job. My first day at my new school was my birthday and was faced with the daunting challenge of being new kid and having to sit through testing. My parents bought the worst house in the neighborhood. The lawn hadn't been kept up in years. Paint was peeling. It basically looked haunted, abandoned. Some kid found out I lived in that house and I spent the day being teased about where I lived and no one knew it was my birthday. I got home from my incredibly disappointing first day at my new school. Everyone was busy with house things. I was just waiting for someone to say happy birthday. A new house did not have a phone yet. It was 1986. No one called. At some point my dad was like, "Hey kids, what do you want for dinner?" I couldn't take it anymore and I yelled, "It's my birthday." My brother thought this was hilarious. He was 12. Dad was like, "I'm so sorry, I forgot. I'll make it up to you this weekend." I went to my room to cry. 11-year-old girls do that. And sometime later my dad came into my room and gave me several of my favorite candy things from 7-Eleven. The next day, at the start of class, new teacher announced that yesterday was my birthday, and for whatever reason, that made me feel even worse about it all. Doesn't suck as much as others, but GF at the time, now wife, tried throwing me a 30th B-day party. Told her up and down would be a bad idea, due to several factors, but mostly because it was on the last Saturday before Christmas. No matter what I say, she is intent on throwing this. Come the big day, she makes all kinds of food and treats and only person who comes is my mom. She was teary-eyed the whole night. Keeps telling me how sorry she was. Meanwhile I laughed the whole time. My then girlfriend, now wife, took me out for brunch. We returned to find her apartment in flames surrounded by fire trucks. This year I attempted suicide on my birthday and was taken to the ER. The following day I spent some time inpatient at a psych hospital. Now I'm in therapy 3 times a week and getting better each day. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.